Big fella,
This
what's
isn't
up?
a player. This is a legend.
This is a legend, a comedian, a legend.
He's a leader.
Daystream
What's
legend.
y'all crew? What's the
What
name of
name do you
y'all
want to
crew?
go by?
The Bus Boy. Are y'all? What's the name of y'all crew that y'all had?
We were the Bus One Boys. Then we were the Stay Ready group. It's yet to be determined what the future has in store and what this year has in store. It's got to come organically. You don't want to force these things.
You cannot force these things. How long does it typically take to find the right answer?
It's kind of like falling in love. You don't know when it'll happen.
But when
Is it like that? I don't think it really is like
waiting
that
for
at
the
all.
mic drop.
I don't know until I find something to commit to. Also,
I was waiting for you to finish the thought.
2 years before that, we had the Chamber of Secrets, but that's a little bit more.
Really?
That's,
I don't know if we heard about this.
There's a long lineage of.
We might need to have a
our
podcast
business,
about that.
Yeah.
Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah,
I don't know what's in there.
Yeah, I don't want to open it up either.
Hey, so
Yeah.
how has the off season been for you?
It's been a great offseason.
been up to?
I mean, honestly, just been kind of chilling at home and not really doing much. We had a little bit of travels. We did a little bit of the New England stuff. We went to New Hampshire. We went to Newport. We saw family a little bit, but honestly, we were kind of just here and chilling. And here's the thing: I grew up in Texas. It would be like 95 or 100, and it is so nice here in the summer. I got to say that.
It's like 85, sunny, not a ton of humidity.
Yeah, a lot of park time we had with the kids, which they're growing in their coordination and muscular development. So it's getting a little bit more exciting.
That's great. That's
step by
great.
step.
How you feeling about this season, coming into this season? Are we going to see the Kornet contest?
I mean, I think the contest is here to stay. I feel like it happened a little less than 2 years ago.
It
But then
did. You didn't do it last
upset
year.
me.
I tried guarding guys on the perimeter. But I'm excited for the year. I feel like I'm excited just to get back to playing and having our group of guys. It's a lot of fun to play with. And I think just having the challenge of, obviously a lot of teams changing and getting better and just getting ready to kind of go through the crucible of the season again.
I feel like every guy that sits down, we have to ask them about why they chose to come back because everyone's been signing
So go ahead,
extensions.
run it to him.
Yeah, you're one of those guys. You signed again as a free agent, and the team needs you. Kristaps Porzingis is going to miss the first few months of the season. What do you think your role is going to be during that time, and what do you want to provide the team while you're out there?
I think, frankly, it feels like no different than what I've been doing for the last several years here, and it's just kind of trying to fill the need and help our team win the game at hand. And obviously, with KP being out for a little bit, I think that'll afford some opportunity. But I think we're just all about trying to win the game at hand, whatever that sort of takes, and helping our team get there. Is kind of what I'm here for and want to be here for, and it's kind of like the mindset I feel like we've had, and it kind of helps you become the best player and the best team that you can be. So I definitely want to try to challenge myself in certain respects, but kind of whatever it takes to win is kind of the way to do that.
Luke, when you have a group like Al, like KP, where you have so much experience, different versatility, what do you take from those guys and moving forward into this season when, Mark just mentioned, you do have a great opportunity in front of you where you are going to be out there?
We're fortunate to have some great players on our team, and Al obviously just has been like a winner throughout his entire career in KP with his skills and the ability that he brings to really be able to present problems. But I feel like it's a nice thing where we all kind of have our different ways of fitting in, but then at the same time all feeling kind of united to the group of everyone's kind of bringing their individual skill set to whatever fits best. And even with Xavier and Nemi, everyone kind of stepped up in this past year. And that's kind of the identity we want to have of just whatever it takes and whoever is needed, fill that gap to the best you can and try to win the game at hand.
You know what I respect about you most? Being a career role player, a guy that some games wouldn't play, some games did play. Later in my career, played more than I did early on. And so to always be ready, and to have a joyful approach to the game all the time. You always were, and you're always engaged, always supportive. And I respect that because that's kind of how I was. I felt the same way. You itching to get out there. You got all this bottled up energy. But if you don't get out there, where do you put it at? You put it into your teammates. And you do that. So I respect that a whole lot.
And the fans erupt when you get out there, too.
No, thanks. I'm very fortunate, just kind of where I've been at through my life of you kind of realize what you want the most is just whatever it kind of takes to help win. And so I feel like the pressure kind of coming in, it gets a little bit less about what do I need to do for myself, but rather how can I help everybody else, and just being able to bring that kind of skill to the game. And yeah, just I don't know the crowd stuff and all that stuff. Like, it's just a part of playing and actually like having fun and kind of feeling free from all that personal expectation in a way.
Eddie, on that note, Brad said this summer of you're the ultimate teammate, and his attitude and spirit have a contagious effect on our team. When you hear the president of the organization say that, what does that mean to you?
Well, that's just the president saying this in an election year.
He wants your vote. He wants your vote.
No, it's it's very kind. I appreciate it, and honestly, I feel like with the group of guys and the players that we have on our team, it becomes really easy to just kind of want to like be a part of it and fit in. And I feel like everyone has such a high level of respect for each other that it's pretty easy to kind of fit in and feel free to do that.
Luke, what's your favorite part of your game? You hear all the nicknames and a lot of positivity surrounding who you are and what you bring to the floor, but what do you take pride in?
I mean, honestly, I feel like the thing that I really do enjoy the most is when you just feel very connected kind of on both ends of the floor, and you feel like you're kind of all just of one mind, and those little moments where it's just a little pass or a little read or kind of like a little thing that sometimes you even start doing without communicating because you just feel that connection with guys and understanding. I think I really appreciate those times, and those are the ones that, at least to me, I really enjoy of whether you both saw the same thing or you realize you weren't able to do it, but you both kind of know all those little moments.
Is that when this comes out?
I don't know when that comes out.
It just happens.
Yeah, that's spontaneous and not prepared. Yeah.
So let me ask him this real quick. So I know how my mindset was, right, when I come off the bench. For people that don't know, what is your mindset? Like I said, some games you might not play, and some games you out there and you have the same amount of energy. You bring it all the time, whether you're on the court or not on the court. What's your mindset going into a game if you know that you're going to play or don't know you're going to play?
It's definitely different. I feel like, and I know you'd understand, it's also so much different between when you're starting versus coming off the bench, just in terms of, I feel like when you're starting and all right, we're going to be a part of this game, and I'll be coming out and coming back in, and, you kind of feel part of, the competing game, whereas sometimes when you're coming in, it's just going to be for one large spurt, and you're sort of hoping to make the most of that, whatever ends up happening, and there's so many moving parts around you. That is just kind of you try to just come in with all the energy that you have, because you kind of just try to hit the ground running. But it is funny, no matter what, I feel like when you're kind of checking in, every time you're checking in, there's a little part of you that's ooh, let's see how this actually feels. You never really know when you're seeing the game going on, but I think at that point, kind of the connection thing really does sort of take over, and you just find your place within everybody else and try to do that well.
Do you use your time on the bench to kind of figure out how you're going to be able to affect the game? That's kind of what my approach was. Coming off the bench, I'm looking at oh, I see how he's playing the pick and roll. I could come off, get my shot, or they're trapping me real hard. I could kick it. We get that post up. We looking for, he can't guard dude on the post. We're going to call punch as soon as I get in. Those type of things. I think it's an advantage sometimes being on the bench where you could read the game and see how the game's unfold and how the referee's calling the game.
Yeah, no, you definitely can, and I feel there's a lot of times we just start seeing and knowing where you're going to be and just getting more familiar with teams over time too. You're you start knowing what kind of game it's going to be for you, whether they're switching or drops or whatever that kind of thing is. So I do feel it gives you the ability to sort of know what you're going to have to do and just kind of being attentive to what's happening so you can kind of hit it, trying to do kind of throw your fastball at the beginning versus feeling it out. That's definitely a part of it. And it is a nice part, honestly, of not starting, where you just can kind of feel the pace of the game before you're going in.
Yep.
Luke, you are such a joy to be with here and also to watch on the floor. We're really excited to see you go out and have yourself another year. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Awesome. Yeah,
Let me leave you with one stat, too.
Oh.
You are one of 4 players last season who shot 100% from three-point range.
Okay.
And I know that means a lot to you for a guy who came in as a shooter.
70-190 club. I don't know if there's any other members.
It's true.
It's true.
There hasn't been anybody. You were the first ever.
Yeah, quality over quantity.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
Hey, it counts.
Although the quality and quantity when you're sitting here, there's no doubt about that. Yes, I know.
Come on.
I know.
We're looking for another
That's my
nickname
good friend
this
Luke
year,
Kornet.
right? Another nickname in the
Good luck
books.
this season.
Appreciate you, Luke.
Have a good camp.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck,
Yeah.
bro.